During World War II, at the beginning of the war, Japanese Americans were not allowed to join the service. We were treated as enemy aliens, so we're classified as 4C. But in 1943, they were allowed to finally form or join, and so the government formed a segregated unit, all Japanese Americans. It was called the 442 Regimental Combat Team. My wife's uncle Joe Sakato, one of the very first to volunteer to go. So they accepted him, took his training, and eventually he wound up in Italy. And so from Italy he fought there, and he fought his way all the way up into France. People noticed what he was doing because the officers and non-commissioned officers all got killed, and he was still alive, Private Joe Sakato. And the valor that he did during this period when he was taking charge of the platoon, he was recommended for the Medal of Honor. He never did receive it. Instead, he received a Distinguished Service Cross, which he was kind of surprised because he didn't even expect any kind of medal. He got discharged in 1945, I believe, or medical discharge. He was only in the service about 2 years. That's it. And the 442 was noted as the most decorated unit for the length of service and the size of the regiment. There was over 18,000 decorations given to these regimental combat team. Anyway, the years go on. We get a letter, an invitation from the White House. At this time, Bill Clinton was president. And he is inviting us to the White House to witness the presentation of the Congressional Medal of Honor to Joe Sakato. So holy smoke, well, we're happy to go. So anyway, we went to see the president present the Congressional Medal of Honor to Uncle Joe 56 years after the fact. In fact, there were 22 of the soldiers' medals that were upgraded to the Congressional Medal of Honor, and Uncle Joe was one of them, one of the 5 or 6 that were still living at that time. Most of them were killed in combat. And President Clinton, in awarding, I'm going to put my glass on, the Congressional Medal of Honor to these soldiers, one of the comments he made was, "Rarely has a nation been so well served by people so ill treated." You got to keep in mind the rest of us, 120,000 of us, were put into these, I'll call it internment camp. And yet our brothers all volunteer to go over there and fight to show their loyalty that they are Americans. The president apologized to us for interning us. I think that can only happen in this country. This is still the greatest country in the world.